You're listening to 770, 880 KJUC AM, live in the UCSB residence halls. I'm Ryan Scibetta. With me in the studio is Quill. You're listening right now to a pre-recorded section recorded Tuesday, November 12th at about 8:30 p.m. And we're about to get into our Spotlight Artist of the Week, the esteemed, the revolutionary, the majestic mvrtinfrvr. Martin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm excited.
Cool. Let's tell the people a little bit about yourself. What's the story of mvrtinfrvr?
Yeah, so, I'm from the Bay Area, which is actually an up-and-coming hotspot for a lot of new music, but I would say that, I wouldn't really embody Bay Area music too much, but quick story on me. I started playing instruments at a relatively young age. I was about 8 or 9 years old, played in the band for a few years, playing clarinet and saxophone. My senior year of high school, I actually joined the choir, and it was really fun, and I wish I had done it earlier, but earlier in that year, I actually started producing music. Or I should say, even probably my sophomore year of high school, I started producing music. I remember vividly that I didn't have a laptop at the time, and so I needed to borrow my sister's computer in order to do some homework, but you know how it is, you never want to actually do your homework, so I would just toy around with GarageBand at the time and just put stuff together, and it was pretty terrible, but that was kind of my first introduction into production. And then by the time I was a senior, I felt good about where I was at, that I actually started putting out songs. And at first I used to want to do, I used to rap and want to do hip-hop and things of that nature, but I think after kind of I put out this rap mixtape that, I don't know, I guess after a few months wasn't really satisfied with and didn't think that was the route I wanted to go. I started focusing primarily on doing R&B music, and so that's currently what I make, and I produce all of my stuff that you'll hear me on, and actually mix and master it as well. So definitely like being self-sufficient, I would say.
Awesome. Sounds like you do a lot of stuff. It's good that people are going to get to hear that with the next 7 songs.
Yes, sir.
So the first track is called Probably Not. You talked about this song was self-produced and had a few samples in it. What are those samples?
Yeah, so Probably Not, like I said, really take pride in my production, and that's something that I do for all of the tracks that you'll hear me on. Probably Not does have a few samples, actually. The first one being from a song called Foreign by Trey Songz, who, I'm influenced by a lot of R&B, and, that's a song that I definitely enjoyed playing before I even thought to sample it in the first place, but in the hook of that song, you'll hear this kind of like high-pitched, background vocal that I think sounded really good, and so I tried to grab that by, I found the instrumental of it and EQ'd a lot of frequencies that weren't necessary and pitched it up, and then it was, I don't know, it was a really good sound effect to kind of change like a tempo, not necessarily a tempo, but like the energy of the song. So I'll bring it in the song, Probably Not, around the hook, where like I'll filter it in, and then the other sample in that song is actually from a song by The Weeknd, the title track of his Kissland album, where I kind of interpolated what he says with the line that kind of starts, probably not if I keep my habits up, probably not if I can't keep up with love, and that's kind of something that I used as inspiration for the hook. So those would be the 2 samples that are in there, and it's just kind of a party starter, definitely the track that gets the energy going, and actually the intro track to my Flavors EP, which again, that's why I put it as the intro, because I really do feel like it kind of gets everything going.
All right. Here's the intro track to mvrtinfrvr's Flavors EP and the intro track to this interview. Probably Not from mvrtinfrvr.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I've been going hard, and that ain't like me. And they say I'm next, yeah, but I might be. They know I make the wave, why they wanna drown me. Forever season, baby, you can never ice me. I pull up in the whip and it's too clean, yeah. Top down skirt with the new thing, yeah. Then she asks if I do this every day. I just tell her that I really can't say. She moving her body and the lights go down, and she needs somebody, someone to hold her down. Tryna tap out the party cause I should really slow down. I just wanna bounce out I keep my habits up, and probably not if her friend is trying to. And probably not if she leave her man, cause she wanna be mine all day, all night. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. I've been going hard, and that ain't like me. And they say I'm next, yeah, I might be. They know I make the wave, why they wanna drown me? Forever season, baby, you can never ice me. Back to my ways, I'm going back to my ways, yeah. Nobody says, yeah. I just wanna come through and chill. Why you all in my face? And shawty looking at me got me feeling some way. I'ma pull up on her, man, I do this every day. She moving her body and the lights go down, and she needs someone to hold her down. Trying to tap out the party cause I should really slow down. I just wanna bounce out. Well, probably not if I keep my habits up, and probably not if her friend is trying to. And probably not if she leave her man, cause she wanna be mine all day, all night. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not. Will I make it? Probably not. Nope, no, probably not.
That was Probably Not by Martin Forever. Martin, thanks for joining us again today.
Thank you guys for having me. My pleasure.
So let's get real with track 2, Real Side. You talk about how this song is really interesting ad-libs. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so if you listen once we listen to it, it'll stick out right away. But for the ad-libs on this song, there's a Tinashe song that I was really inspired by called No Drama, and that's actually featuring Offset of the group Migos, if you guys are familiar. And throughout the whole track, even when he doesn't have his verse, he will ad-lib some of Tinashe's lyrics, and I think that just greatly increases the energy. So I was really inspired by that, and my song Real Side, I chose a tempo that was pretty similar to that song, and felt like that those ad-libs added a lot of energy. So what I was actually able to do is find an a cappella Migos track for Bad and Bougie, one of their songs, and I was able to kind of cut out all of the Offset ad-libs from that song and be able to place it strategically in places in my track Real Side. And so you'll hear a bunch of ad-libs and they're not actually mine. They're of famous rappers that I was not making the song together with, but I think it came out really interesting and, again, really energetic, and kind of definitely gave it the effect that I was looking for and that I was kind of getting from the Tinashe track, which actually did feature Offset. So that's kind of the story behind those ad-libs, and yeah, I think it's really funny, but I think it came out sounding pretty good.
All right. Let's hear the real and the synthetic on Real Side by Martin Forever.
Slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. You don't wanna slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. You don't wanna slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. Promise, baby, I don't really do this. Lately, baby, I've been going through it. You look kinda fine, but what you feel like? Tell you the real type, up in the hills like. Cause baby, you the one I want on this side. Cause you gon' hold it down, I know how you ride. I've been trying to find out why I feel like this ain't my real life. When I look inside, you the one I slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. You the one I slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. You the one I slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. Promise, baby, I don't really do this. Lately, baby, I've been going through it. There's trouble on my mind, that's what it feel like. Sometimes it feel like this ain't my real life. But I've been going hard till I don't feel right. I don't know if I'ma make it through the night. Baby, now you get to see what's inside. Feel like the real side is on the hillside. You the one I slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. You the one I slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side. You the one I slide to the real side. You gon' keep it tight for the real side. When it's late at night, see my real side. Baby, that's the real side. Baby, that's the real side.
You're listening to 770 880 KJUC AM in the UCSB residence halls. This program is called Spotlight. Thanks for listening.
I don't know why you keep telling about us. And I know we said we could keep a promise. Cause I know that you like what we got. But you just won't stop blowing up my spot. And I don't want that extra drama. I guess it's my fault. So let's keep it low key. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low. I don't know why you keep telling about us. And I know we said we could keep a promise. I know you got options, and you know I do too. But we gotta wave, and we should ride it. Cause I know that you like what we got. But you just won't stop blowing up my spot. And I don't want that extra drama. I guess it's my fault. So let's keep it low key. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low. You know I'm feeling you, but we ain't gotta tell them. I know you feel it too, but we ain't gotta tell them. You know I'm feeling you, keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low, 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 low. We should keep it on the low. Low. Low.
That was Low by Martin Forever. Before that, you heard Real Side, also by Martin Forever. So, you've mentioned that Low is your latest single, but one that hasn't got as much promotion as you'd hoped for.
Yeah, so, and I think that, it's honestly me kind of being the one-man team. That's on me, and I think that Low came out at a, very interesting time in my life where, the song is about a month and a half old, but when I decided to put it out, it was right around my move down here to Santa Barbara, which, definitely took precedence over, kind of promoting my music. And so, realistically, that's a big reason why I haven't promoted it as much as I needed to. And, regardless, I'm still very proud of the song, but definitely didn't do it as much justice as it deserves. And now it almost feels kind of weird to, go back and try to promote it just because it feels like I'm at a different time in my life that, it might, I don't know. I guess I'm not in that headspace of where I was when it came out, but again, definitely a great song. This is a song inspired by my home, the Bay Area. We have a lot of, culturally influencing music, and this is, hyphy music at its best. A few years ago, LA made the sound really popular again with artists like DJ Mustard and, artists like YG.
DJ Mustard just here.
Yeah, he was just here, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So,
got
definitely
front page in Daily Nexus and everything.
Yeah, you can definitely hear the inspiration there from our perspective, the Bay Area influencing a lot of his music. And so I kind of wanted to make a tribute to my hometown because when I used to be putting out more rap songs when I was a senior in high school, like I said, I think, honestly, the hyphy beats are some of the easiest to produce, which, again, me producing all of my stuff was, not necessarily going the easy way, but it was a sound that I really liked. I was listening to a lot of G-Eazy at the time. And again, it was, it's these really simple beats that there's a lot of space to sing a rap on. And so, I felt like I hadn't done a song like this on this type of beat since that time, which was, 3+ years ago, that, it only felt right to do it. But like I mentioned earlier in the interview, at the time I was rapping, and now that I'm more so doing R&B and singing, that was it was hard for me to kind of attack the track just because I wasn't sure, how do I want to sing on this? And so I will say I've wanted to make, a Bay Area type song for a while now, but I don't know. I think sometimes for me, there's almost an innocence lost when, the more time that you put in making music is, I guess the more you're restricting yourself and what you want your new music to sound like, because just the earlier stages of my production, I think that I was less scrutinizing what I was making, and so I was able to just put out whatever because I wasn't trying to be too much of a perfectionist about it. But now not only did I need to kind of figure out how I want to attack the song singing wise, but also, is the beat right? Like, am I doing too much or doing too little? Does it sound good? So that's why, it was hard to put Low together, but I'm definitely glad with how it came out.
Yeah. It's good to know that the song sounded great, even if the promotion was a low point.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But
low point. I gotcha. There you go.
How getting that lack of feedback can sometimes lead us to feel low.
Again, there you go with the puns. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I wish I promoted Low a little bit better. It was just a busy time, and still definitely proud of the song. And who knows? I mean, I didn't put out any singles for the Flavors EP. I just kind of wanted to release it and put it out. But I mean, I've definitely been thinking about doing a Flavors 2, and I would say that I already have some material for it. So, I mean, perhaps Low will get its shine on that as being kind of the lead single for that.
Why was Flavors named Flavors anyway?
So I guess that's a good question because, you know, I have a really big thing for EPs, which is why at this point I don't want to put out anything more than 7 tracks now. I think 7 tracks is the perfect number for an EP, and if you notice, Flavors is only 4 tracks. So I say that because I guess I was listening to a few years ago Janae Aiko's Sail Out EP, which is 7 tracks, perfect length, about 29 minutes, something like that. So that really inspired me. From then I was like, I have to do these 7-track EPs because they're, relatively easy to knock out, but also, I don't want people to think that I'm putting out albums, because to me an album is something that's really special, and I don't want to, put one out per se until I'm at that level where I can, say this is my album. I think that's just a really grand event, and so for me EPs are the way to go. Now, so there's a lot of I guess math, or I wouldn't say math, but numeration associated with it. So Flavors, the word itself has 7 letters, and I want to do 7 tracks. Now, I wanted to call it Flavors because I felt like I was skilled enough as a producer to produce 7 different types of beats for 7 different songs, and 7 different flavors, therefore. I was thinking, again, to put Low as, the hyphy track. I have Real Side as kind of like the dark trap track. I have a song that we'll play in a little bit called Bad, which is the dance hall track. I was working on an EDM track, so some of those didn't make the cut, but I felt like it had been too long since I last put out music that me waiting to knock out the 7 tracks and make everything perfect was just going to take too long, and I just kind of wanted to put out the 4 solid ones that I had right now. So that's why again, Flavors is called that, because I felt like I was skilled enough as a producer to create a bunch of different types of sounds, and I know that I am, but it was just going to take too long to make it on this project. But again, Flavors, I wanted it to be 7 tracks. There's 7 letters in the word Flavors. If you look at the cover art, there's 7 different colors on the cover art.
Yeah, cool cover art.
Yeah, so that was kind of the thinking behind Flavors. And again, I definitely I do want to do a Flavors part 2 where kind of those subgenres that I didn't include on the first one, I want to make happen on the second one.
Round it out so it's not just a 4-letter Flavors.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Flavor Flav.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, so the next song is called Insane. What is so insane about the dancehall track?
Yeah, so Insane is I remember when I first started working on Insane, it was actually my first quarter of college, and I think that I started listening to Bryson Tiller's Trap Soul album a little bit before that, and if anyone knows me, that's one of my favorite albums. I think it's a classic R&B album that's really defined this past generation's R&B, and he has a track on there called Open Interlude, and I thought that track wasn't anything super special, but at the end of the track there's almost like this like lo-fi, if you ever listen to like lo-fi hip-hop to study, there's almost like a lo-fi hip-hop element to it at the end, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is gold. So decided to cut it up and kind of rearrange the sample a little bit, and it almost sounds like a saxophone, like lo-fi saxophone, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is gold. So I started producing some drums around that little sample that I took, and I'd worked on it for a while, that I don't know, it sounded too just like too hip hop, too trappy. Where I have like the snare on the 2 and the 4, or on the 3, excuse me, and I don't know, I just wasn't getting the vibe I wanted from it. And I remember the lyrics to the song are, for the hook at least, are, baby, I would go insane for your love, blank what your friends say, that's gotta mean something. And I think that I really resonated with those lyrics at the time, because I just remember there was this girl that I was, talking to, and, I really wanted her to be mine. And so I felt like those lyrics definitely resonated with me, and I thought, like, the word insane would just be, like, a really cool concept for a song. I think for me, like, I get a lot of, like, I guess a lot of my concepts for songs come from seeing words that I don't see often, I would say, which, like, the track earlier that we played, probably not. Just sounds like a weird song title. Like, I don't know, it just seems weird to me. So I felt like, having a song called Insane would be kind of attention grabbing. And so what I was able to do was take that lo-fi sample that I was telling you from that open interlude song by Bryson Tiller, and I also took the part of the hook where he goes, "Baby, I would go insane for your love," etc. And I was able to sample that, again, EQ it and pitch it up. And so that's kind of the intro for the song. And I took the hook for it. And so, again, I was just playing around with the tempo, and it was weird to me because, I felt like it was too trappy, and so I needed to do something else, and I wanted to, almost make it, like a love song. And so I didn't want it to sound aggressive with the beat, and so that's why, I kind of went the dance hall route, and it's, I really do enjoy dance hall too, and not necessarily something I expected myself to be making, but I think, the more you grow as an artist, or, even just as a listener of music, you start to be more open to new things, and that's when I was like, this could be a really great concept, because some of my favorite songs at this point are, dance hall songs. And so I felt like if it were to kind of be a lovey-dovey type song, I'd either have to go, the full pop route, or dance hall would have been, I don't know, just a good kind of summery vibe and just have good bounce to it. And so that's kind of the story behind Insane. And that was actually the first single that I put out after kind of taking about a year and a half hiatus from releasing music. I was constantly working on it, but people hadn't really heard from me since, I was graduating high school. And so that was kind of my big comeback. And listening to that track now, I know I could have, I really like the foundation of it. I could have executed it a little bit better, but I think, there's growth from back then, which it came out in August of 2017 till now, which is November 2019. So I'm still proud of it.
All right. This is Insane by Martin Forever. You're listening to 770, 880 KJUC AM in the UCSB residence halls. This program's called Spotlight. I'm Ryan Scibetta. With me in the studio is Quill, and as you just heard, this is a song by Martin Forever.
Moment I met you, knew that I was gonna get you. You're too special for any lame to just get you. But you're giving me looks now, so what we gonna do now? And I know that you're playing hard to get, but that ain't gonna work now. It's just something about the way I feel, girl, when I see you. Like you make me wanna do things I regret just cause I need you. Girl, I know that you've been through hell and back, well, I can free you. Just give me that moment in time, cause baby, I would go insane for your love. Gotta watch, that's gotta mean something. This became a little bit too much, gotta watch my intake, girl, that's gotta mean something. But time's up. You ain't looked me in the eye once. You've been lonely for 5 months. You ain't gotta be shy, girl, but you're giving me looks now. So what we gonna do now? go insane for your love. Gotta watch your friends say, girl, that's gotta mean something. This became a little bit too much. Gotta watch my intake, girl, that's gotta mean something. I'ma pull up on shawty, I'ma pull up. You ain't innocent, shawty. You should pull up. I know it's quiet now that I've been out of town, but I'ma pull up every time I come around. I'ma pull up on shawty, I'ma pull up. You ain't innocent, shawty. You should pull up. I know it's quiet now that I've been out of town, but I'ma pull up every time I come around. I'ma pull up on shawty, I'ma pull up. New day, I'ma slide with the coupe when I pull up. I ain't with the talking, you know what I'm here for. So stop playing games, let's go. Ex calling, but I ain't got time for that. My next calling, cause she ain't get a follow back. You know my baby, so don't catch no feelings. But I'ma pull up when I'm in your city. I'ma pull up on shawty, I'ma pull up. You ain't innocent, shawty. You should pull up. I know it's quiet now that I've been out of town, but I'ma pull up every time I come around. I'ma pull up on shawty, I'ma pull up. You ain't innocent, shawty. You should pull up. I know it's quiet now that I've been out of town, but I'ma pull up every time I come around. She too bad, I cancel all my new bad. When they see us out, they gon' wanna snap pictures. And shawty the I juicing her, and I'm the two, I'm so into with her. And I know they hate it, but that ain't nothing to me, baby. Cause I mean I'm popping and I know they hate to see it, baby. But I'ma just secure the bag, and I know they gon' be mad when I pull up like I'ma pull up on shawty, I'ma pull up. You ain't innocent, shawty. You should pull up. I know it's quiet now that I've been out of town, but I'ma pull up every time I come around. I'ma pull up on shawty, I'ma pull up. You ain't innocent, shawty. You should pull up. I know it's quiet now that I've been out of town, but I'ma pull up every time I come around.
That was Pull Up by Martin Forever. Before that, you heard Insane by, you guessed it, Martin Forever. Thanks again. We got 2 more tracks for you, but before that, we're going to hear some more about this replay value song. What was the auto-tune you were doing with it?
Yeah, so Pull Up is a song that I was just like, I don't want to make it sound too inspired by like, just like hip-hop now, but it was just kind of like, it's like a good, fun song that you just play around with. And I think that, auto-tune is so prevalent in today's hip-hop that if I wanted to almost kind of mimic it, it's something that I had to do. And it's just really fun because I know definitely some people don't view auto-tune as something that, I don't know, I guess a lot of people look down on auto-tune. And I think that it's more so an effect. I think I really appreciate it for the effect value of it.
Definitely.
Because
look up T-Pain, like sans auto-tune. He's got this beautiful voice.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's the perfect example of it. That T-Pain can definitely sing his butt off, but he just uses the auto-tune as an effect. And someone who I guess really pioneered this, other than T-Pain, is Kanye West. And he'll be the first to admit that he can't necessarily sing, but he also likes the effect of it because he's put it on artists that were on his songs that definitely can sing. And so I just really appreciate autotune as an effect, and I think that it, people are going to have mixed opinions of it, but I don't know, for some tracks it definitely adds, more texture, and so for Pull Up, that's just something where I knew I wanted to kind of just make a really fun, playful song, and, with autotune, it just definitely adds to the effect. Like, things don't necessarily have to be perfect. Sometimes it's really easy to auto-tune your voice and make it sound natural to where people wouldn't even notice. But I just really like on tracks like Pull Up, just, you almost sing as imperfectly as you can, and then that way the auto-tune is extremely prevalent, and the auto-tune will still tune you to the right note, but the fact that you, I guess, sang the original take bad on purpose will make the auto-tune stand out more, even though it's still right. And I don't know, I just really like that effect, and so I just wanted to do something fun and playful, and it was really short, but again, I feel like it's kind of almost an addicting song where you can put it on repeat and, it'll pass by quick, but it's just really fun and energetic.
Yeah, that's interesting that you deliberately sang unconventionally or like off key to get more of the effect that you wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I think for me, like when I first started using autotune, just to have fun, that's something that I didn't really realize at first. I think my first few, even sessions with trying to use autotune, it was almost like, okay, I have to sing like normally how I would if I wanted to not use autotune and be as perfect about it as possible. And it's almost ironic because when you try to sing as perfectly as you can and you actually sound good without it, putting the autotune on your voice will make you sound more off-key than, singing poorly and then putting the autotune on. It literally sounds worse when you sing better.
Weird.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think an example that is a solid example is actually the rapper Quavo out of the Migos. He uses autotune a lot, and I don't know, I really like the effect that it gives his voice, but I think now that I kind of have an understanding of how it works and when it doesn't work, it's realistically because he's not very good at singing. But yeah, honestly, like it's really weird, but it's funny because again, the worse you are when you sing into the autotune preset, the better it comes out. Like it's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. So that was definitely something that I was doing consciously with the song Pull Up. I was like, okay, I know that if I really try to hit these notes and make it sound super professional, me putting autotune on will make it sound worse. And again, I'm not using the autotune to make myself be able to sing. It's because the effect is fun for me.
Autotune's a fun effect.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on background vocals. That's something I love doing when with a lot of my tracks. Like I'll layer the main vocal with this super reverb, super spacey background vocal, and then autotune that way more than the main vocal. But yeah, autotune is just so much fun to play with, and so I don't even know how people can get mad at it. It's just so fun.
But it's not real. It's not. Nothing is real.
Exactly.
We live in a nihilistic wonderland.
I mean, yeah, if people... Exactly, like...
This interview, I'm talking about songs that I haven't heard yet. I've heard 4 of these.
Yeah.
But we decided to add 3 more so that we could get more of a quantitatively good interview, and I haven't gotten the links for those yet. Yeah. So I'm just going off of Martin's notes.
Yeah, honestly, but, I mean, if people get mad at autotune, most of the songs that we're listening to these days have programmed drums and programmed, computer instruments, so I guess it's the same thing. Like, if you enjoy listening to those, then what's the difference?
But it's not real.
I don't know, that's kind of my spiel. Again, I think, there's definitely a time and place where, I don't appreciate autotune as much if it tries to cover up for a lack of ability. But, if you can sing, a good example, The Weeknd doesn't use autotune often, but he does on songs like Sidewalks, that he has with Kendrick Lamar, and a song called Wonderful by Travis Scott. They definitely auto-tune The Weeknd's voice, but everyone knows The Weeknd can actually sing, and that just another effect, and it sounds different and it sounds fresh, and so it's just I like it. It's fun.
Yeah. Wonder if they're altering their voice too as they sing.
Mm-hmm.
So the next track is Next. That's right. The track is called Next. This is seems like a very personal song to you. Well, wait. Not personal in a great way, but
yeah,
I read half the word. Talks about a girl wanting me. Yeah, great, because I'm next up. Aw, shucks.
Yeah, so, Next is actually... we listened to the song Insane a little bit earlier, and Insane was kind of the beginning of, again, almost like this comeback EP that I wanted to put out. Just because, not necessarily because I told people I was done working on music, but I just, life gets in the way. You have school and, your focus is shift. And again, I was still working on music constantly, but I just wasn't putting out as much. So If Insane was the beginning of that, then when I came up with the song called Next, as Ryan stated, that was kind of the, okay, everything's coming into the picture clearly. Next is a song where the hook is basically, it goes as such. It goes, I'm next and she know it. My dough is the motive, but when I'm not around, I know how she gets down, and I know she just wants me because I'm next. So, if you listen to the song, it sounds like I'm just strictly talking about a girl, which, it's definitely possible that that's, why I came up with that track. But I think Next is more so a metaphor for, just people in general, and I guess people around me being able to spot that, what I'm doing is really going to pay off, whether it comes to music, whether it comes to school, whether it comes to work, etc. The effort that I'm putting in is going to pay off, and when it does, it's going to pay off big. And so Next is really, it's something that I can say is about a girl, but again, it's more of a metaphor for how people are changing their behavior around me when they see that, I'm gonna be on the come up, I'm gonna be successful soon, and they're kind of positioning themselves to, be able to take advantage of that success and wealth of mine. But again, like I said in the song, when I'm not around, I know how she gets down, and they might not necessarily be truthful with their intentions and how they feel about you, just because they want to, again, position themselves in order to be able to take advantage of your success, and that's why they want to be around you. They just want to have some sort of in when things go well. But if things weren't going well, then they wouldn't be looking your direction.
Message to all you CSB kids, watch your back. Here is Next by mvrtinfrvr.
Hey, you think she gonna know something about her? Hey, I'm next, she know it. Hey, you knew I was gonna be next, right? Now you wanna show me love, huh? Hey, check it. With me now, what you never was. Tell me what was you back on the come up way before the buzz. I've been living life, don't know who to trust. People that I don't even know, thinking that they one of us. I remember when you never used to look my way. Now you'll do anything for me to want you to stay. I guess that's how it turns out. Girls we wanted, now we saying it, I type now. I'm next and she know it. My dough is her motive. But when I'm not around, I know how she gets down, and I know she just want me cause I'm next. No thanks. Big time, about to be there, but I know you just want it in, and I see that. Staying close to my hip like I know you. Never was there when I struggled, now were you? Now you wanna start calling me baby, but I remember when you hated on me crazy. I know bridges burn, you live and learn. You only want me cause it's about to be my turn. I'm next and she know it. My dough is the motive. But when I'm not around, I know how she gets down, and I know she just want me cause I'm next. No thanks. She just want me cause I'm next. She just want me cause I'm next. She just want me cause I'm next. No thanks. Cause I'm next and she know it. I'm next and she know it. My dough is her motive. But when I'm not around, I know how she gets down, and I know she just want me cause I'm next. No thanks. I'm next and she know it. My dough is her motive. But when I'm not around, I know how she gets down, and I know she just want me cause I'm next. No thanks. She just want me cause I'm next. She just want me cause I'm next. She just want me cause I'm next. No thanks. Cause I'm next and she know it.
That was Next by mvrtinfrvr. We have one more song for this Spotlight Artist of the Week. For that, I'm going to tell you exactly what this program is about for those of you just tuning in. Spotlight is a... Martin checks his phone. That's smart. Spotlight is a program all about... I'm going to call you out on it.
Oh, no, I apologize.
It's all good. Spotlight is a program all about highlighting unknown, lesser known, or simply unappreciated artists who deserve to have the spotlight shining down on them. We've heard a lot of cool artists from Jacob James down to Cathcart. I mispronounced that. Jacob James, Rohan Katpali, Jason Cathcart. That's the right way of pronouncing it. I just messed it up a billion times a week ago. And now we're hearing a fantastic artist, mvrtinfrvr. And we got one more, as I just said, we got one more song for you called Bad. Why'd you pick this song to be the last song in the program?
So, I think it's appropriate that it comes right after we play Next, which I guess to add a little bit more about that track, again, like I said before we played it, when I came up with the concept of Next, that was everything coming into focus for what I wanted the EP to be. And again, it's the song and the EP is just kind of, showing people that, I'm next up and, either get on the bandwagon now, I guess, or it's going to be too late, but I can kind of see through it regardless. And, Next at the time when I put that out, that was my favorite song that I've ever done. And I was like, this is the pinnacle of my music up until this point, and it was just my favorite, and it was the most well done. And then, actually it's funny because a little bit before I came out with the EP that Next was on, which is titled Next, about a week or two before that, I came up with the idea for the song that we're about to play, which is called Bad. And I was just so excited about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is gold. But, everything had already started rolling with the next EP that I didn't have the time to, finish the concept I had for Bad and put it on there. And so I felt good about the next EP, but I also knew that, as soon as this comes out, I have already the next one lined up to hit him with, And so...
The one next after next.
Exactly. So Next After Next was Bad, and, this is similar to Insane, another dancehall song, and just... I decided to keep this to play last because I really do feel like this is the best song I've put out so far. And this came out at the end of May when the Flavors EP came out. But this track, again, I started making it in February of 2018, which is a little over a year before Flavors EP. Now, with that being said, I worked on it for over a year, and with gaps in between, but it was definitely the song of mine so far that's gotten the most amount of work. And I really do feel like it came through because it is my favorite song of mine. And I think that with a lot of the stuff on the next EP, there was stuff that you can play and people would kind of maybe see that it's a little amateur, but I feel like Flavors EP as a whole was really professional sounding. And I think that if there's one song that I can definitely say that about, it's this one, which is called Bad. Again, it's inspired by I came up with the concept for the song when I heard Dirty Love by Sean Kingston, Nicki Minaj, which is really funny because that song came out like 10 years ago, and I remember hearing it when I was in the 6th grade, and I did not know, that I would...
Middle school.
Yeah, right? I didn't know that I would, in a way put it in my music, and so I guess the keys for Bad, or kind of like the melody for Bad, is very similar to the one in Dirty Love. And then I was kind of like, how can I execute this dancehall song so that it doesn't sound too much like Insane, which was the previous dancehall song that I put out? How can I be different about it? And so, where Insane was really, 4 on the floor, but like dancehall, boom, 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 boom. The song Bad was, less conventional in where the drums were at. Like they were very sparse, and like you would hear the drums, every few seconds. But it was... I don't know, really unconventional is the whole rhythm for Bad, and inspired by probably my favorite song ever, which is Love by Tory Lanez. I think you could definitely hear similarities, and I don't know, again, I wanted it to be this like beautiful summer love song, and I think that's a really great vibe, and I think that you can definitely, relate to the lyrics, and I think when you hear it, you'll definitely think about someone that you feel, similar to the way I felt when I wrote this song. So yeah, I would say this is my favorite song of mine. That's how it came about. Bad.
All right. Here's the best song, in Martin's opinion, a synonym for all of the puns I have made this program. Bad, by Martin Forever.
Top down and I'm on the way now. Shawty been teasing me all day now.